I guess talk about Sebastian Castro. He had a couple TFLs, an interception, helped with the fumble in the end zone. What kind of day did he have? Do you think?
I mean, it's fun. It's fun because I know he's behind me, and I don't know where he's at, but I just see a flash, a white jersey flash, and I know he's coming down to do bad things to whoever has the ball. So it's fun having him out there. You know he's going to be on every tackle wherever the ball is at, and I mean he just makes plays. He's a playmaker. I think that's why Coach Parker loves him. I might have to keep my job so they don't put him in Mike Backer.
Jay, Torrey was just talking about how you guys take a lot of pride in winning with defense and special teams. 6 points, and how does that feel?
Yeah, like a defensive dream. I mean that's all we can do. We went out there, we competed the full game, and you know we rough start at the beginning of the third quarter, but I felt like we did a great job settling back down, getting off the field. I mean, anytime you can give up 6 points to a good team like that, good running back, good offensive line. I mean, they had to spread offense. That's the first time we really saw that in Wisconsin. I'm just really proud of our guys.
Were you surprised they threw so much early in the game with Braylon Allen there? And also, could you talk about that 4th and 1 stop you had on their first drive?
Yeah, definitely. Well, we knew the head coach coming from Cincinnati, and we knew what he did at Cincinnati and his their offensive coordinator. I mean, Nick Jackson played that OC at North Carolina for a couple of times, so we understood that the mindset was different. Now, personnel-wise, they still had those big dudes up front, still had their big backs. So, I mean, we were kind of prepared for both worlds, and we felt like they were dangerous in both, so we wanted to be prepared. And just getting off the field, I mean, that anytime you can start with a 3 and out, that'd be preferable. But anytime you can get off the field and not give up points on that first drive, I just feel like that just helps the team in the moment.
I know that Taylor's not a defensive player technically, that he's a special teams player, but
He rides on our bus with us.
yeah, it must be great fun as a defensive team though to go out there and have that opponent pinned back every time. It seems like.
Definitely. I mean, as a defense, that just opens up our playbook. I mean, you guys know Coach Parker is going to be extremely aggressive when we're down there, and I mean, I would rather blitz than do anything else. So, anytime we can get out there and the ball's on the 9, knowing that they got to march 90 yards and scoring us, that just gives us confidence.
First time holding an opponent to single digits this year. Do you feel like this was the defense's best performance of the season so far?
Defensively, yes. Me personally, no. I had a couple plays I wanted back, obviously. But I mean, the way Castro was playing, the way our communication was, the way the D-line handled the run game, I feel like the defense, we did a great job just staying in and competing. And that's really all we try to do. That's what Iowa defense is about. Just keep fighting till the end of the game.
Jay, what's it mean to control your own destiny right now in the West at this stage of the season?
We knew that this game meant a lot, and luckily for us, we've just been taking it 1 week at a time. And I mean, it doesn't mean anything if we just start going downhill from here. So we understand that every game is just as important as the next one or the last one.
You know, nationally, you guys, not a lot of people love you because you don't score a bunch of points or doing a lot of things, but you just keep winning. I think you're 11-2 over your last 13. What does it mean for you to just keep winning, even though people aren't exactly on your side outside of Hawkeye fans?
Yeah, it just shows that we're trying to win the game by any means. We don't care what it looks like, as long as we have the win at the end of the day. That's what matters to us. And I mean, I like those low-score games defensively. I mean, it just puts the pressure on the defense, and that's what we're built for. We want the game in our hands. And I mean, if you ask anybody defensively, we feel most confident when it's up to us to win the game.
Did you sense anything in that 4th quarter, just that you guys had taken over that game? Just it seemed like the ball was on the ground, in your hands as a defense. It seemed like you really took over.
Yeah, definitely. Just started playing a little bit more aggressive. Knowing that the situation they were in were different. Obviously, at the beginning of the game, their play calls are going to look different. When they needed points, we knew we could be a little bit aggressive. And I mean, it's really just momentum. I mean, you get a Sebastian coming down, hitting somebody. You get somebody tipping the ball. All that stuff built up, and that just helps us defensively.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you were one of the closest players to Sebastian when he got that pick at the end. Were you yelling at him to get down, or?
Yeah. told him to get down. We knew it was a get down situation, but I told him he probably had the best game of his life when he was on the ground.
When you look at this series historically, it's maybe as physical as any game in the country year in and year out, and so it's kind of like two teams fighting that way. How did you guys approach that with Wisconsin, and how do you feel like physicality-wise that you were able to win that matchup too?
I mean, I just feel like that's Iowa football. If you know anything about Coach Ferentz, it's we're gonna run the ball and we're gonna know how to play the run. So, I mean, all we do off season is run block, shed blocks, and it's a physical off season for us. That's for games like this. When we run into a physical team, we're built for it because we practice it so much.
Mood was a lot different 2 years ago when you were here. How does it feel to now be here playing jump around in your locker room?
Yeah, we got a lot of young guys like like Nick doesn't really understand how big this is, but we got some young guys who weren't in the locker room when I was here last time. And, I mean, I remember that feeling, just watching Campbell and Benson compete. Like just a real gritty game defensively. To now have this feeling, just really happy for the guys. The older guys definitely, like a Joe Evans, a 6-year guy who comes back for moments like these.
Starting quarterback hurt his hand close to halftime. Looked like he actually hit it on your helmet. One, were you aware of that when it happened? And then two, did that change anything about the defense's approach with the backup QB in there?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, anytime you get around the quarterback and you lay a hit on him, you definitely want to check body language, and we were on that immediately. And I mean, anytime there's a backup quarterback, we know game plan is going to change. We knew that things would look different, but I feel like that quarterback did a really good job when he came in. He was checking a lot of stuff because we were sending a lot of pressure. So hats off to him. I think he did a really good job, actually.
All right, thanks, Jay.